Well, just got gas. About $8 a gallon. Over $2 per liter. But the next gas after this, about 150 miles. So I like that gas station. There was a dog on the porch. And the old guy had a story to tell, and I'll tell it to you. But I had to ask him a question. I figured he was going to want to hit it over the fence, so to speak, and he did. But first, this is a moment here. I'm leaving the Alaska Highway and heading straight south, shortest distance. Whoa, I almost went past it. To the lower 48 on the Cassiar Highway. I've never been on it. It's a little more rugged, but shorter, cheaper, I hope. So I get to the porch and the dog and I hit it off real well. Across the street was a way station, government way station for trucks heading down this highway. Make sure they don't fall through the bridges, or I guess some kind of alarm was going off. A chirping, kind of like a smoke alarm, only it was pretty constant and rather loud. Anyway, so I walk in, old wood, creaky, dusty, and wonderful. Pay for my gas. Only needed a half tank, and that was $84 for just a half tank. And I had to hand my card over to the guy, and he couldn't get it into the thing, but he got it in. I helped him. I said, "You got to push that harder." So he's from the old days, and I asked him what his dog's name was. And he says, "Which one?" I got 3. And I said, "The one on the porch that greeted me." He goes, "So that's, what was his name? Toby or something?" And I said, "No, it wasn't that one, because the one I saw was black." "Oh, that was blah, blah, blah," he said. And I said, No. It was that third one over there. He goes, "Oh, okay." And I was about to leave, and I thought to ask him this question. "Do you ever get tired of that alarm going off over there?" And he just stopped what he was doing, which was nothing, and looked at me and said, "That thing's been going off since dinner time last night." He said, "I called that guy up and it was 10 minutes to 4. He wouldn't come out here to shut it off because it would have been over his time working. He would have had to get overtime. So he could have come out and shut it off on his way home. I know where he lives. But he didn't want to risk having to work anything past 4 o'clock. So he'll be out later today." Now, he'd be out now, except that it's his coffee break already. So he's not coming out during his coffee break, which is an hour long. Then he'll have to decide whether to come out before lunchtime, which is another hour long. Because he won't come out if it's during his lunchtime. So he'll probably be out this afternoon. Now, he works an 8-hour day, but he only puts 3 hours in. And he took a breath, and I said, "Government worker." And he looked at me and goes, "You think?" So, I said, "Well, how often does this thing go off?" He goes, "Every time there's a power surge." I said, "Well, how often is there a power surge?" He goes, "Oh, about once a week." And they have a little light that flashes in the government office that tells them it's on. And I said, "So they might put a little piece of cardboard over that so they don't have to look at it. But you don't have anything to put into your ears, do you?" He goes, "I was up all night last night." Now, I'm not one of those anti-government people. I understand that government's a necessary evil to regulate. I like this road, by the way. And we need government, but if you're not careful, they can overdo it. And I get why a lot of these folks ain't voting for any Democrat or Republican. They usually don't vote, but you know what? They've been voting lately because Trump, who has dandy little hands, who's never worked a day in his life, and spends other people's money, had a rich daddy, someone that this guy would never like, somehow was saying the things that no one had ever said to them before, and said that he wants to be their president. And this guy and millions of others, good guys, said, well, by God, I'm going to vote for that man. That's how the Trumpism happened. And then it kind of really got out of control, to the point where we're going to lose our democracy probably this November. I hope not. We'll see. But I like this guy, and I'm glad I stopped to get the most expensive gas I ever got in my life. And I got to meet one of 3 dogs that might have been named Toby.